Welcome to the road to $1 million US. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on the 1 hour time frame. Since yesterday, we saw a new bullish divergence form here on the 1 hour time frame, which is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. Typically, this points towards a break from all of this bearish price action that we saw on the 1 hour time frame, either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum on the 1 hour time frame once again. Now, after we broke the downtrend, we saw a perfect rejection from this level of resistance that I talked about in yesterday's video. And of course, after we touched this resistance, we did not get the candle close above on the 1 hour time frame, and we saw a rejection to the downside from there. Zooming in a bit further to this lower time frame, and then I'm actually going to go back up to the higher time frames once again. But right now, as you can see on this 30-minute time frame, you can see it even better on this 15-minute time frame. Bitcoin is basically consolidating in this pattern here, and very likely within the next couple of hours, this is actually going to break out either to the upside or to the downside. And since this is a symmetrical pattern, it can break out either way. If it breaks out to the upside, likely the price target is going to be around 85K. And if it breaks to the downside, the price target is going to be around 80.5K in the Bitcoin price. Of course, as with any breakout, the point of invalidation, let's say that it breaks to the downside here, the point of invalidation would be if we get candle closes above the point of the breakout, or basically just trade inside this pattern. And of course, if it breaks to the upside and we trade back below the point of the breakout from there, that would also invalidate the pattern. So that is something to be looking towards on this lower time frame. Now let's actually come back up to this higher time frame, because on the 4 hour time frame, if we just take a look at this structure here, we have a lower low compared to this low right here, but we also have a higher high compared to this high right here. This means that it can really go either way at the moment on the 4 hour time frame specifically. Of course, later on I'm going to show you the daily time frame, but let's just stick to this for now, because if you want to confirm an uptrend or a downtrend, typically I like looking for example, right now we have a higher high, and then I want to see a higher low come in above this low at about 81.3K. So once we get a higher high and a higher low come in, from there I am expecting a further resumption to the upside as well. And of course, if I want to confirm a downtrend on the 4 hour time frame, I need to see a low come in below this previous low that we set right here, and then from there set a high below this previous high right here as well. And once we confirm this lower high right here after the lower low, well, at that point we are confirming another downtrend on the 4 hour time frame. That is basically what I'm looking towards right now. But as it stands at the moment, this 4 hour time frame is less clear. That's why I started on the lower time frames in this video today. However, if we actually take a look at the daily time frame, this is looking a little bit more bearish. Bitcoin is in a downtrend here, so we are trading below this descending trend line, and therefore my outlook remains the same as in the last video, which is basically that I'm bearish on this 1 day time frame so long as we are trading below this descending trend line. Currently, this level of resistance is sitting at about 86.6K. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the last video, but one of the main reasons that I flipped bearish on the daily time frame was, one, that we saw, of course, that rejection from the descending trend line. Two, that we created a lower low and broke below this Fibonacci level sitting at 84.5K. But besides that, we also invalidated this bullish divergence, and that is enough confluence for me to flip bearish on the daily time frame. Again, so long as we are trading below the descending trend line. Now, guys, yes, if we were to now get a daily candle close above this trend line, you will see me flip bullish just like that. And from there, I would be expecting higher prices for Bitcoin once again. A potential bullish catalyst on this daily time frame could be if we set a lower low compared to this low right here at about 78,000, 77,000, roughly speaking, while simultaneously we get a higher low in the RSI momentum indicator, because at that point we can make a new bullish divergence in the charts. again, when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. And this would confirm this new bullish divergence, making me expect another move to the upside, potentially even breaking that descending line of resistance. So hopefully I made my outlook on the Bitcoin charts clear on every time frame. And yes, same as yesterday, guys, there is a difference between the different time frames at the moment, so hopefully you can understand that. And if you are new to all of this and you want to get the basics of technical analysis as well as just leverage trading in general down, well, simply go to rt1m.com, because I've created a full trading course for you of over an hour of educational content that you can watch completely for free. So again, go to rt1m.com and you will see this page where you can watch the full trading course completely for free. Moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 3-day time frame, notice how we shot up to this big pocket of liquidity here, sitting at around 83.7k, and then perfectly reversed from there. So this is exactly why it is important to be paying attention to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map on the time frames that you are trading. In this case, we're taking a look at the lower time frame, where right now we have liquidity to the upside at 84.1k, as well as liquidity to the downside around this 81,000 US dollar level. So those could be some potential areas to be paying attention to in the short term. However, if we take a look at the 2-week time frame, this is showing a bit of a different story. Yes, there is liquidity to the downside, again around that 81k level, but there's also massive liquidity to the upside as high as about 89k in the Bitcoin price. Lastly, though, in terms of the Bitcoin liquidation heat maps, we should not be forgetting about the 1-year time frame, the highest time frame for the Bitcoin liquidation heat maps, because here you can see that there is a lot of liquidity around this 80,000 US dollar level, 80.5k roughly speaking, and that is quite close to where we are currently trading. So it would not be surprising to me, especially as we are technically still in this downtrend, that we end up taking out this 80k level of liquidity, considering that it is so close to the current price where we are trading. Besides that, because you guys keep asking me every day when I don't talk about this, yes, there is also liquidity to the downside at 75k. I have shown you guys this many times on the channel, but I don't talk about it every day. But then every time I don't talk about it, you guys comment like, what about the liquidity at 75k? It's a never-ending cycle. Okay, but anyway, let's move on. There is also liquidity on the high time frame to the upside, for example, around this 100k level. But before I'm even going to consider that liquidity possibly being taken out, I need to see a break of the downtrend on the 1-day time frame. And again, the resistance there should be clear, as I talked about it earlier in this video. Either way, this has been today's market update. Don't forget to check out the free trading course on rt1m.com. But regardless, if you do end up checking it out or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.